How you guys doing? You all right? I've been really busy. I haven't been able to upload videos, which has been good. So I just finished day one of coaching a client on the weekend confidence program. It's a great day. This is probably one of the best times for me to make videos after, a whole weekend or intense time with a client coaching, because this is really when my perspective is fresh. I'm really teaching from a few moments ago, rather than going into my head and going into my experiences and maybe teaching from a month ago or 6 months or a year ago. Not that that isn't valuable, but the teaching is very fresh when you're doing a video and you're coming a shorter time span away from the experience, if that makes sense. So a lot of things to reflect on, and something I wanted to reflect on and teach today, and it really made me realize that this is kind of the problem that all my clients have, that everybody that comes through the door and works with me is, okay, the problem is always anxiety and fear, but within that there's certain challenges, and the common problem that always comes up is perceptions, limited perceptions of situations, or limiting beliefs, negative thoughts. And everyone is guilty of this, myself included. And that's the great thing about being a coach and doing a lot of work on yourself, which I have done and I continue to do, because I love growing, I love helping other people. You get to see patterns in people. You get to see how these patterns, it's not necessarily saying these are bad or good, but these patterns can be very limiting. So for example, a common pattern that I get, because I coach people that are from all different parts of the world, people fly over, and people say, well, where I live in my town, there are no women, like I can't meet a woman. Now listen, this is interesting, this is where it gets kind of interesting. I'm not saying that's not true, because when you're coming from your perspective, so for example, you might be watching this video now and you might actually say, you know what, it's the same for me, Johnny. Like, I've been living in my town now for 10-15 years and I haven't managed to get a girlfriend or a relationship, or I've been going out and trying to start conversations with women, I can't get a date. So you're gonna have your own reasons, and it's gonna feel so true for you, because these are the perceptions and assumptions that you've come up with. It's kind of crazy and mind-boggling, this guy. So stay on this video. This stuff is kind of not easy to explain. Like, I can teach it when I'm with someone, but when I'm trying to do it on a video, it's hard. But I like the challenge of it. So I relate to all this because I was the same. I was no different to any of you. Many years ago, I was stuck in a predicament where I honestly believed that women didn't like me, I couldn't get a woman, and I had my own excuses. I had my own reasons why. I had strong perceptions about myself and the reason why women didn't want to go out of me. So my job, and it's continued to be, is to build up you guys' confidence, and within building your confidence and getting you to face your fears, to re-educate you. And I'm not talking about in the sense of reading a book in a classroom, similar, but to re-educate you, to show you that your perceptions about women, about you, about your dating life, your capabilities, that 100% they can be proven wrong. How cool is that? How amazing is that? Even though in your own mind, in your own heart, it feels like they can't be proven wrong. And I remember Les Brown saying a quote that relates to all this. He said, although people are not happy and they complain about their life and their lack of this or that, or relationships or finances or whatever, when you try and help people, not all people, because I know you guys are very open-minded, and my clients are so open-minded, right? They'd have to be to hire me, right? Because I'm a bit crazy in a good way, right? And the work that we do is challenging by definition, or perhaps it's very, very challenging. It's not easy, but that doesn't mean you can't do it. You can. Les Brown said, most people fight to keep their limitations. I've seen it. I have to sometimes not have an argument with my clients, but I have to have almost like a wall with them, with their limitations. So they will say to me, for example, but Johnny, you can't, it's very, very hard to meet a girl who is a local girl because she's got her friends, she's got her own social circle, and she's not gonna wanna let me into her life, right? That's a common one I get. And they will say, it will be easier for me to meet a girl who's not a local girl, who is a foreigner, who doesn't have a big social circle. Listen, I'm not saying there's some truth in that, but with my experience that I've experienced and my other clients, that is not necessarily true. But because they believe that, that's the excuse. It's easy to say, well, I can't get a woman, I can't meet a woman in my country or my town or my city, and this is the reason why. But if you take full ownership and you're brave and say, actually, I could be projecting this, because why are there so many other men in the world in my town that have met a woman that's successful? You must start to question things, because if you don't, it's never going to change. Like, I've had people, and I won't argue with them, who follow me on this channel, and they will argue with me and say, for example, you can't meet a woman being yourself. Like, it's not going to work. You've got to use these tricks, these tactics, or you've got to have cars, you've got to have money. They believe that. Now, I know for 100% that's not true. I've done it. I've met girls being myself. I don't have cars. I've never had loads and loads of money. I've made money in business at times, but compared to someone else who's a billionaire, I haven't had that sort of money, or big mansions. I've done it. So I know what they're saying isn't true, because it's not true for me. But because they haven't proved that to themselves, they're going to argue with me. They might not believe me, they might disagree, they might know I'm telling the truth, they might not. That's not the point here. The point is, you get what you believe if you don't challenge it. It's like so many things, and that's kind of my story. Growing up, I didn't believe in myself, people put me down, you know, society, I'm not saying all society, but I was stereotyped, like a lot of people in society, because of my background, my class, where I grew up, my education, my social circle. I knew I was stereotyped. I wasn't stupid, not by everyone. So I had to challenge it. I had to prove the stereotype wrong of what I was capable of, what I could achieve, and I smashed it. I smashed it to pieces in so many different ways. I'm not supposed to be doing what I'm doing now. I'm not supposed to be a successful confidence coach that's coaching people around the world, business coaching, social anxiety. I'm not meant to be doing that. If I listened to my old perceptions and the perception of other people, I wouldn't be here now. So it takes one to know one. So that's the great thing about when you start facing your fears, because that's what you're doing effectively. When you're facing your fears, when you're taking action, when you're building your confidence, you are fighting and challenging your negative perceptions about yourself, whether that's to do with women, whether that's to do with business, with whatever it may be. It doesn't have to be specific. I've always helped guys right across the board to better themselves in all areas. So one of the things I often say to people when they say to me, well, I can't meet any women in my town, and this is not in a showing off way, this is to get them to think differently about themselves, I would say, what do you think would happen if I come to your town? You know what they usually say? Oh, well, if you came to my town, you would have success because you have the skill. Okay, but I'm not any different to you. You're going to have certain advantages that I don't have. I'm not better than you in every area, but the reason is because I think different to you, and I act different because I've been willing to challenge and not just believe something that's in my head or that's taught to me. Because a lot of guys do it with this one. Oh, Johnny, I'm losing my hair, I'm bald, I'm going bald, and that's the reason why women don't like me. Well, look, I've been losing my hair since I was 30, I'm 38. It hasn't stopped me meeting women. It hasn't stopped me being successful. So I don't believe that. I know it's not true, but if you believe it, so it's weird. It's like whatever you believe, you achieve, whether it's negative or positive. So I'm constantly in a process of challenging my limiting beliefs, because even when you overcome them, there's still more, and teaching other people. And the one word which I really like, I'm going to start using more and explaining, is growth. You have to grow beyond your negative beliefs. So what happens a lot when I work with clients who live in different countries who come to London, they have positive experiences during the coaching sessions with me. They get a new perspective And I always say that, you know, you don't just have to hang out with me and do my coaching to get that. Go to another part of the world, meet positive people, and you'll get a different perspective if you're brave enough to, you know, be vulnerable and face your insecurities. So when people do the training with me and they go back to their country, they usually are going to get a better result. Why? Because they go back to their country with a different perspective about themselves, women, life. So that's what you need to do if you're watching this video, if you want to improve in any area. Social anxiety is the same. When you first have it, you've got a perception about yourself. You've got a relationship, you've got thoughts. I know the perception. I know what you've got. I had it, I went through it, I overcome it. I know what it's like. I'm anxious, I'm this awkward person, I'm not good in social interactions, I'm not capable, all those limiting thoughts. If you keep believing that and you don't challenge it, that's what you're gonna get. That's how your life's gonna be. You're gonna have social anxiety, you're gonna be stuck, you're not gonna grow, you're not gonna gain confidence, you're not gonna have those experiences where you're not anxious around people, where you're confident. I challenged it, I had enough of it, and that's how I conquered social anxiety. So this is a challenge for all of us, and I don't exclude myself from this, because we all have limiting beliefs. Some of them, our parents give them to us. A lot of times they don't do it on purpose, they don't do it out of badness, they just pass on what they believe. Our society does it, our teachers do it, our friends do it, and most importantly, we do it to ourselves. So you have to take full responsibility. It's hard, but you have to say, stop blaming everyone else. Don't blame yourself, don't judge yourself, but take responsibility, and you got to go to work. We got to start working on the inside man. And I'm not saying it's easy. Some people, it's easy. I work with some people and it's a bit easy for them because of their personality, their mindset, but most people it's not easy. But that doesn't mean you should be deterred from doing it. That should make you want to do it more. So that's why I never subscribe to the PUA stuff, because for me, the PUA stuff is very, very limited. It has a lot of limitations. And I don't like the philosophy of lying and being manipulative. And I challenged that years ago. That's one of the perceptions we've had in Western culture for a long time. And in the city I grew up in, the beautiful city London, in the dating scene, there's a common belief that you've got to play games, you've got to lie, you've got to trick, you've got to manipulate. Do you know what? I hated it. I hated it at the start because it does not go with my heart and what I believe in God, my faith. I don't like it. But when I was younger at a certain point, I was afraid to challenge it because everybody's saying, no, it doesn't work, you've got to be this way. I challenged it. I proved to myself, you can be honest, you can be sincere, you can be from the heart, you don't need tricks. And I got fantastic results with women. I still get fantastic results with the honesty. And of course, I've been teaching this philosophy now for over 10 years. And am I the only one who gets fantastic results? No. Some of my clients have actually got married. So anyone can do it. Anyone can do it who puts their mind to it. And I'm talking about changing your perspective and your perception in any area. Please, guys, don't be small-time thinkers, please. Be a big-time thinker in that. I'm not just talking about getting a girlfriend, speaking to women. I am talking about that, but not only that. This crosses over in all areas of life, even in fitness. And we've all got these limiting beliefs. But when you change your mindset, you're not ashamed, you're not embarrassed. You're excited and inspired to challenge them. That's how you grow, that's how you improve. So I see it as not like a video game as such, but a challenge in life, because we have a lot of limiting beliefs and we have ideas. Let's say, for example, another common one that guys will say, it's a very common one I get. Okay, so what's a common one? Oh yeah, if I speak to a girl who's walking in public or on the street, then wouldn't I be bothering her? That's a belief. That's a perception. I don't believe that. If you don't believe that and you don't project that, then most of the times you're not going to be bothering someone. But if you feel like you're bothering someone and you're a nuisance, and then you go over, you're probably going to bother them. You're going to project that. So you've got to be mindful about what you're projecting and what you're believing. Because people generally tend, whether they realize it or not, people project what they strongly believe in. So if you believe that you're not good enough, you can't connect with people, you can't talk to people, that's what's going to happen. So you've got to, and this is what a lot of people don't want to do, and I see it when I work with people who do and some who don't. People don't want to go through humiliation, rejection, embarrassment, shame, all those emotions. But unfortunately, if you don't go through that, you're not going to change your perception of the world and yourself. You have to go through that. That's part of the transformational process of becoming successful. Guys have it with looks. Guys think that, oh, if I talk to a girl who's really, really attractive, she's going to shout at me, she's going to be mean, and she's going to be not want to talk to me. That's perception, that's belief. If you believe that, that's what you're going to get. I used to believe it. And again, I'm not showing off. I'm really not trying to help people. When I changed my perception and my perspective, which took a long time, I was able to attract a woman that I'd usually see and think, you know what? She's just too pretty for me. I'm not good enough. She wouldn't like a guy like me. I'm ugly. Or she'd go out with a guy that's better looking. I challenged that stuff. So I know what I'm talking about. And dated some really beautiful women. Not just beautiful physically, yes. Fantastic figure, beautiful hair and face and all that. But personality. And I've also been rejected as well. So you don't have to be some perfect person. I've done it in business where I didn't used to believe I could make a certain amount of money because of doing jobs where you get paid a certain wage and you get an idea that I can't make beyond that. I've done it so many times. So when you prove these negative perceptions wrong, you get more confident, then you know the process. So when someone says to you, well, it's like this, I always say to my clients, I listen to them and they say it like it's true. And they're like, well, you can't speak to a girl when she's with her friend because they're going to think you're weird. I just listen. I go, really? That's interesting. Who told you that? Well, that's how it is. That's what they say. That's how. I said, really? Is that how it is for you? And then they'll be looking at me like, isn't it like that? I said, well, not for me. It's not like that. My friend is not like that. Some guy I saw that I knew, or I spoke to a girl and she said she went out with her friend and this guy spoke to them and he was really nice and she ended up dating the guy, marrying the guy. So there's so many people in the world that's not true for. That's when you got to start questioning things and saying, well, hang on a minute. Why is there so many other people in the world that don't think the way I think and believe certain limiting thoughts that I do, and they're getting a different result to me? Because they think different, and if therefore you think different, you act different. So a really thought-provoking, challenging coaching session and extended conversation today. So it's amazing. I remember when I worked with my mentor, I worked with Jeff, I had certain limiting perceptions about myself, about the world. Jeff done the same. He listened and he questioned. He asked me, can you qualify why you believe this? So I was like, I would stop sometimes and go, oh shit, oh damn, I'm not sure, and maybe it's in my head. I had to start going to work on it. So we've got a lot of work to do, guys, if we want to be the best version. It never stops. It never ends. Even when you're successful, you meet a beautiful woman, you make money, you change a lot of people's lives. No one's perfect. None of us are. So there's room for, I got loads of room for growth. I'm sure you have. So just think right now, look, we all do it. Look, I remember saying to myself, I can't cook a healthy meal because it's too hard, it's too much hassle. I'm not that kind of person. It's not my personality. I'm just not like that. And after a while, I started to listen to that and say, that's very, very limited. What? So is that true? I can't go and buy healthy ingredients and educate myself on diet, go home, you know, boil a bag of rice or fry some chicken. Well, I can't do that. Is that true? I started to think about it, question it. Of course, having a great mum, my mum would come in and say, "What? Come on, you can cook for yourself. It's easy." So sometimes you need someone to tell you, to challenge you and say, "What, you believe that? Have you tried? You got to change it." And then I started cooking. It was pretty easy. It was very easy. When I had a limiting perception that I can't go and swim on my own, I'm scared, I'm embarrassed, I'm shy. I had some issues with it as a kid. You know, when I was young, as a lot of us do, I got teased, I got laughed at. I was a skinny kid growing up, so I was always quite embarrassed to go in the pool, you know, with my body and stuff, quite uncomfortable. As I got older, I improved my confidence, my physique. I felt confident, but not in that situation. In 2017, when I come out of hospital, I had a burning desire to shatter this limiting belief about myself, which was I can't go swimming on my own. Something's blocking, there's a block. I said I've had enough of it. I went to a pool in Victoria. I joined the gym. I was nervous the first day, as you are when you're doing something that you're scared of. I got in there. After a few minutes, I looked around and I said, oh my goodness, it's easy. I'm here. No one's going, aha, look at him laughing. No, it's all in my head. That was years ago. I'm a grown man, and I enjoyed it. Every week I started going swimming. Now I don't even think about it. I don't have that limiting perception no more. Why? Because I've been swimming hundreds of times since 2017 up until the present 2022. I've been swimming. So this shows up not just in dating, guys. Let's think bigger than that. It shows up in so many areas if you don't challenge it, and a lot of people are not aware of it. And you know, I think there's a word for this. I could be mistaken. I think they call it like, if you guys are with me on this, they call it like a town mentality, where you get, sometimes people live in a small town and everybody believes the same thing. No one steps out of the town to get a different perspective. And of course, when one person eventually does, they realize that, oh, the world is a big place and not everybody is the same as they are in my town. And that's a huge metaphor for this. And that's why mentors, teachers, motivational teachers, father figures, mother figures, positive groups, play a huge role. Because if we only go by our own perspective and it's negative, we're never going to climb out of it. So you guys can probably see and sense how passionate I am about this and what this means to me to help people get past it. It's such a good feeling when you get past it, because some people are stuck in their own perceptions for 20 years. I've had it. I've helped so many guys through it. Guys that say, I'm 40 years of age, it's over, I can't get a woman, I'm too old. It's not true. Or 50. You got to challenge it. You got to check it. And you can't just do it once and say, oh, well, I tried it. I spoke to a girl in my town and she didn't want to talk to me. That's not how that's not it. That's one person. Speak to more than that. So that's it. Let me know in the box below if you enjoyed this, if it really, it does really, it wakes you up, shakes you up, and it breaks you up a little bit, and then it helps you to grow and grow back stronger and overcome it. So the lasting thoughts are, just because you've believed something for a long time, it doesn't mean it's true. Especially when it's negative and it's making you feel depressed and it's making you feel like you're not gonna, and it's stopping you and it's blocking you from getting the result you want, or the growth or the happiness. So you've got to come out of your head. That's why you've got to get a mentor. That's why the weekend program is amazing for helping you to get over this. All right, I'll speak to you guys soon. Like this video if you enjoyed it, share it with a friend who's open-minded and that could do with hearing this. Comment below, and as always, if you want to take the next step to changing your life, get in touch for my confidence coaching. All right, appreciate the support. I'll see you guys soon.